All right. Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. Miss Katie, go ahead and wave and let everybody know hello, hello, hello. We are
Hello.
here. We want to just welcome everybody. We usually give them a few minutes to just come in because a lot of them are matriculating over from Clubhouse and they want to hear you again or hear something new or grab a nugget that they missed over there. So we'll give them a moment to just come on over and migrate over to our Facebook Live. But for those of you that are already watching, you are watching the Beyond the Book Media book. The business of books on Facebook. And here you will discover new indie authors such as Miss Katie and gain insight on their writing and publishing journeys, as well as you'll discover this is where you discover emerging authors. And if you're interested in publishing or writing or any of those things, please like and share this video. But Beyond the Book Media is the place for you. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I would invite everyone that's joining us on Facebook to please go to www.streamyard.com and allow access so that Miss Katie and myself can see your comments on our end because we're streaming to Facebook, so we can't see the Facebook comments on this end. So please, by all means, go to www.streamyard.com and allow access because we want to interact with you. Welcome to everyone that is here. Welcome to Miss Katie, who has given us her time. She came over from speaking with our Clubhouse cousins, and now she's here to speak with our Facebook family. And we are so excited that she is here. So, in the comments, everybody say hello to Miss Katie and welcome to Miss Katie, and we welcome you. So, Miss Katie, we'll give them about another minute, and then we'll jump right into it.
Okay.
I'm excited that you are here and to talk about your book. So excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Facebook family. Come on in, go to StreamYard and allow access so we can see your comments. Drop your comments below and say hello to Miss Katie. And Katie, will you please pronounce your last name for me?
It's Huyghue.
Okay.
Not as difficult as it looks.
Yeah, because I was like, is it Huyghue or how do you pronounce it? But it's you. Got it. Got it. I would see. I did not even tackle that. I just said, "Hey, Miss Katie." I was like, "We just going with Miss Katie today because I
I
don't,
know.
names are so very important, and I don't want to mess that up. So I wanted to make sure I asked you what was your name. And so now that it is 9:05, we'll just go right on ahead. I'll just go right on ahead with our questions. And the first one, Miss Katie, is just to allow you to tell our Facebook family a little bit about you. I know you shared it over there with our Clubhouse cousins, but give us a little bit about who Miss Katie Huyghue really is.
Well, I am a mother, a grandmother, a sibling. I'm here in Southern California. I am a realtor, a real estate broker, and that is me.
We have some comments. Hello, Cashmere. Hello, just into these beautiful queens here. So, yeah, so you are a real estate agent.
Mhm.
And there's a little bit more about you that I want you to share because it's a celebration, a kind of a hallelujah moment, if you will. So you can share
Yeah.
that part.
Yes. I'm a breast cancer survivor. And a published author and
Finally.
finally, because I've been, wanting my dream was to be a writer since I was 8 or 9 years old. And I've
Wow.
always been a reader and a writer. I must have, thousands of journals somewhere. And just finally just decided to go for it.
Oh, wow. We'll get to that. We're going to have to come back around to that because I
Yes,
know there's a story in that part right
it
there.
is.
But what I don't want our audience to miss, and what I want to do is just go back once more and say hello and welcome to all of our audience members, our Facebook family that has come and joined the Beyond the Book Media Facebook interview, The Business of Books with Miss Katie Huyghue here tonight. We will be definitely discussing out of my system and all of that. And that's a whole sermon in itself, that title, but we'll get to talk about it and elaborate on it a little bit. But I want to welcome you all to the Beyond the Book Media's business of books. And this is a Facebook live show where we talk to indie authors such as Miss Katee here, and we gain insight on their writing and publishing journey, and as well as if you love discovering, emerging authors or maybe you're interested in writing your own book or publishing your own book. Beyond the Book Media is that company for you. Write with Me is the place where you will begin. And if you have a desire to support, I ask that you just share. And I ask this every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. that you share, and let's celebrate these authors who have decided to branch out, speak their truth, tell their story, and then come here and tell us what the journey was like. So, Miss Katee, you told us that you're in Southern California and that you are a real estate agent, that you have been in remission or out. No, you have been cured of cancer for 16
Yes.
years.
Yes.
You're cured of heart failure. Won't God do it? That's what he
Yes.
does. Jehovah, won't he do that? And so we thank God for that. And then your grandmother and the mother, and you're getting to live life, and then you write a book. We're
Yes.
going to talk about it. So tell us about your book. What is the book about? What is the story? Give us something tangible that we can hold on to. Give us a visual of what's going on here in Out of My System.
Okay, so it's about a 50-year-old black female, who has gone through a breakup recently. And in her head, she's decided that she needs to get, up over this breakup, which we all do. But she decides that getting over a breakup is probably as simple as getting over any other bad habit, which they say is 21 days. So she decides over the next 21 days, she is getting this out of her system, because they say that's how long it takes to get something out of your system. So we follow her in her journey in the 21 days. It is fiction, but it is based on, a true event. But what I do is I just exaggerate everything to make it entertaining, basically.
I will take it. Who hasn't embellished a little bit or made it, as you said, you've been thinking of being a writer. You've always wanted to write since the age of 8 years old.
Yeah.
So your imagination has gone so far since the age of 8 years old. And now you're just putting it all in the book and allowing us to share in the moment and the journey, with some truth inside, some insightfulness, I'm sure, inside, with nuggets that we can take and apply to life, even after breakup, after loss, after all of those things. But you're just putting it in a way where it's entertaining, even though when you were probably going through some of those things that you exaggerated a little bit, it wasn't so entertaining at that time. So we really appreciate that. And all my Facebook family, don't forget to share. Invite your family to come on and rest in their little seats in the house on the couch and just come on and talk. Listen to me and Miss Katee converse. We're just gonna have a good time just talking about this book. Okay. And so the next question, Miss Katee, I have for you is, what inspired you to write your book?
I actually had already kind of started on the book years ago, and because I'm 61, so obviously, this is based on when she was 50, so that it really kind of happened to me, like a breakup happened to me, but which is not a big deal, because a breakup happens, to all of us. That's life. But I just was one day just sitting and thinking, well, what if this happened during that? And just like you said, the imagination from being 8 to now, just, things just spun in my head. And so it just became fun to write. And at that time, I finished this book in, May of last year, and we were just coming out of COVID. And, a couple of months prior to that, my little sister had passed away. And so I was in a depression, and I was just really sad, and just kind of letting myself go through that. My sister died from cancer. And so being a survivor of cancer, I had what I call survivor's remorse. Like, how did I survive? and my little sister did not. And so I was going through something. So I was writing, and I was writing more, a more serious type of book. And I don't know, I just, I prayed about it, and my answer, was don't write that. Write something that will make you laugh, and that will hopefully make
Mm,
other people laugh.
wow.
And I thought, wow, okay, and I felt guilty about that though, because I was like, I'm not supposed to be laughing right now. My sister just died 3 months ago. I'm not supposed to be laughing. But I said, I just have to see this through. And as I start writing it and just, creating scenarios, well, this happened, but what if this also happened with that? And so, and I made myself laugh. I was laughing as I was writing it. And so I thought, well, I'm laughing, but I'm kind of goofy anyway. So me laughing doesn't mean everybody else will laugh. But I thought, well, I'm laughing, and it was therapy. And I felt like this is what I needed to do to get over the grief. And it was just going to be for me at first. And so I just kept writing. And that's what started, this book.
Wow. That is beautiful. That is a testament to even in our darkest moments, we should always find something to laugh about. Even
Mm-hmm.
if we feel, like I can't laugh right now. And I too have lost a sibling to cancer in her
Mm-hmm.
50, she was 43.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a hard space for me as well. So I totally understand. She
Mm-hmm.
was like my ace. And so that was a hard place for me. But laughter does help you, even when you're just thinking about them. Sometimes you add some type of character that has the attitude or the care or the took on the persona of that person. And you're like, I can just write about you and laugh about the things that we've done. So writing is very, very, very therapeutic. So who would say your book is for?
I would say, because in writing it's kind of hard, because you want everybody to love your, I guess any art, you want everybody to love it. But you kind of have to decide who you're talking to. And
Right.
so I had to narrow down. So I was talking to, women over 40 who, and probably a Black female,
Right.
not to exclude anyone, but there, there's some, terms in the book and experiences that I think will resonate to Black women. Although I have a wide diversity array of friends, and they love it too, but I had to pick, who am I talking to? And
Right. Right.
so, 40 to 60-year-old women who've gone through, a bad breakup. And so, which, it's probably almost every woman, unless, they've been married since they're 20 and they've been married for 40 years. And, there are some like that. But,
Right.
but even some of those, they like the book
Right.
because they can,
Right.
it can resonate. So that was who I was writing to. And I was really surprised at the people outside of that enjoyed the book.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, well that's beautiful. And again, like you said, you have to find that target audience. And in writing, I find that you have to have narrow it down. Now it made
Mhm.
such masses, but in order for me to get it out and get what my point of view is, I need to have somebody that I'm
Yes.
pinpointing in order to get this book out and get it out of me into the pages so that we can get it out to the people. So that is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But I would venture out to say that maybe women even younger than 40 will
Mhm.
understand the journey because they've gone through some type of breakup or loss of some sort, and maybe they can find laughter in it just by reading your book. And so we have so many people that have joined, and we want to say welcome and thank you all for taking the time to come out. And I mean, we'll jump on Facebook and listen to Miss Katee as she tells us about her journey through writing the book Out of My System and what it meant to her and why she wrote it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about her writing journey and the publishing part and all of those good things. And she said some nuggets. She said she wrote it in 21 days because she was told that you can get rid of things. I'm just paraphrasing here, that you can get everything leaves you in 21 days. And as you know, Facebook family, they say you form a habit in 21 days. So I guess we can unform in 21 days as well. And so Miss Katee took the challenge and she decided to write her book. Okay, so the next question is, what are the top three takeaways you would like readers to walk away with of any age?
You know, even though I wrote the book for 40 plus, I had, many young ladies like in their 20s reach out and said
Mhm.
it resonated with them. So, one of the takeaways I would just like, people to take away, and this could be for men and women, is that, breakups happen. Breakups happen and they don't destroy us. They don't destroy us. And, the other takeaway, just even for this book is that you have to have humor in your life. You have to be able to laugh and smile and just move on. And, the other takeaway would be that you can't really resolve anything in 21 days. Not a feeling. You can get things accomplished in 21 days. You can write a book in 21 days. You can do lots, you can lose weight in 21 days, but you
Right.
can't totally get over feelings in 21 days. And so, but you can learn how to navigate those feelings and how to be better and be you.
All right. So I'm writing down your nuggets. You can't do that in 21 days. I'm taking notes over here. That's why you see me looking this way. I'm like, let me write these three nuggets down here. And that is so true. And again, do everything based on where you are in life. We can get
Mhm,
through some things in 21 days, but going through and getting over is two different things. And so we
mhm,
can go
mhm.
through and we can get to the point where we can um, work our way through the over part, but that is a
Yeah.
process that may take more than 21 days or a few 21 days to overcome. So I
And
really,
that can be a breakup with, a romantic breakup. It can be a job breakup. It can be like a life change. And people, sometimes think, oh, I'm not over it yet. And it's like, no, you're not going to be. I mean, this was
right.
part of your life. It's part of your life. And so what you do to get through it, really, you have to do for you. You can't do for anyone else. You can't do it the way someone else did it. You have to do it for you. And that's one of the things that the character in the book does. She lives life on her own terms. She gets through it. She does what she wants to do, on her own terms.
Wow, beautiful. And in this day and age where we need so much so many people are needing encouragement at this moment just through journeying after COVID and all of those things because I don't know if
Mhm,
you would agree, Miss Katie, but even with COVID and losing jobs and things of that nature, that was some type of breakup for somebody. And we have Miss
mhm.
Renee that says congratulations, Miss Katie. But that was
Thank
a
you,
breakup
Renee.
for some people. They lost some things and they
Yeah.
needed to figure out how to get over that or how to
Mhm,
move past it. Sometimes we'll never get over something, but we need to learn how
mhm.
to move past and keep
Yeah.
going and live life like the loss of a sibling. You never get over it. You just learn
Mm-mm,
how
mm-mm.
to live differently without
Yeah.
that person being present here, but they're present here. And so we
Right.
have to learn how to navigate those waters different after the transition from earth back to life, to heaven, I mean. And so we have to learn how to do that a little different. Um,
Hmm.
let's see what we want to talk about. So you said something. You said you can't live, and I'm paraphrasing again, without humor. Humor, I think, when you said that, I thought of Chicken Soup for the Soul. Those books were they had humor in it. They had real life
Hmm.
stories. But there was humor, and so many people purchased it like they're gonna do your book. Come on, Facebook. And so I thought about that when as soon as you said that I saw the visual of the book, how they used to look with the chicken soup bowl on it, and I thought
Hmm.
that is just what this is in the new age where we can curl up and read a good book and get a good laugh no matter where we are in that moment in the maybe in a good place, maybe in a challenging type place, but we can get out of my system and get whatever you're going through out of your system with laughter and
Hmm.
understanding and knowing that this is based on a true story, but not necessarily all true.
Hmm.
But if Miss Katie got through it, you can get through it too. And that's what I
Yes.
think we can take from this book. And I don't know why I just had this visual of chicken soup for the soul said that. And I was like, oh, okay. I can do that. I really enjoyed that series of stories. So I'm
Hmm.
y'all enjoy your book as well. So Miss Katee, tell us where we can find your book to support you. Tell our audience where they can find your book to support you.
Well, you can find my book on Amazon. It is on Amazon, out of my system, Katee Huyghue, but you can definitely get it on Amazon.
All right. And so let's, before we get to the end and talk about what you got, your giveaways and all of those things, I wanted to get that out there. So while we're talking, if some of our family want to go ahead and purchase, they can. I wanted to go ahead and put that out there. But tell me about your writing journey. What was the journey like? I know you had lost your sister prior to, so you were probably in a place, and you said you felt like you were in this depressed state at some point through the journey. But what was the writing journey like? How did you push forward and get out of my system, out of your system? No pun intended.
Well, you know what? The thing that really kind of pushed me, I guess, was seeing Chanel Martin's 21 Day Challenge on Facebook. And I didn't know her before. I don't even know how I came out. I always say that, the universe does what the universe does. And I just saw it one day. And I thought, and I was still in this space, and I thought, you can't write a book in 21 days, but, I'm always up for a challenge. And, we were like, I think we were home from COVID. And so I'm like, okay, let me just do it. I probably won't get it done, but I'll do it. And I had probably 5-6 different projects laying around. I'm doodling on, I'm writing on. And, that group, Chanel and the Beyond the Book Media, the group was so inspiring and supportive that when you have that kind of support behind you and accountability, you won't do anything else but rise to it. And so, I made myself, the first thing I had to tell myself was that I have to write every day. And, in our mind, we can find every excuse not to write, not to work out, whatever. But I said, okay, in the beginning, I said 20 minutes, just write 20 minutes a day. And some days I would sit and I would think, there's nothing coming out. And then, so I would just write on a piece on my notepad. I have nothing to write. As long as I was writing. Wow. And eventually I got tired of writing. I have nothing to write. So I would make myself think I would make myself just be someone else. And I suppose that's different if you're writing fiction than nonfiction, because if you're writing, nonfiction, then you have to be, present and write, knowledge. But when you're writing fiction, it's not true. So you can let your mind just go wherever it goes. And so I just wrote, just some of the most outlandish things, and, went back later and I had to rein her in. But that process is just writing.
That's something else, Miss Katee. I've never heard anyone say, I said I'm going to write every day. And that's a technique to tell yourself, I'm not going to stop no matter what. I'm going to write every day. Even if I just write, I have nothing to say today, I did it right. But you stuck to what you committed to. And that is a testament to it in itself, is that I stuck to it even when I didn't feel like the spirit was flowing. I didn't hear anything. I didn't sense anything, but I'm still going to write something. I said I'm going to write 30 minutes. If I just doodle my name for 30 minutes, I'm going to do something, because I'm going to remain committed and disciplined to what I said. And I don't know if you feel this way, but I felt this way when you said it. It just is that I am determined to do what I set my mind to do. And no matter what it looked like in the moment, I'm going to still keep moving in what I promised myself I was going to do. Right. And I could just imagine when you're saying, I have nothing to say, I don't have nothing, I'm getting nothing, I can't write nothing. But that little 8-year-old girl kept being in your head saying, but you are a writer. You're going to write this book. And thank you so much from the Beyond the Book Media family. We appreciate your testimony of how being a part of the group really assisted you with doing that, and all that they offer as a team. Well, we offer, because I'm a part of the team. I'm saying they like I'm not. But we offer as a team to help motivate you and encourage you to do what you committed to doing, which is right. And so we really appreciate that. And so you said earlier that you wrote the book in, I think, May of 2020.
Mhm.
um, sometime in 2020. And so when did you publish it, and what was that publishing process like? I already know Jacinta is a gem all by herself. I know she is loving and caring, and I just love her to pieces. So tell me what the journey was like for you, and why do you think you waited till this time? This is a two-part question. And why do you think you waited till now to really publish it and move it forth?
I think when I first started the journey, I wasn't really, it's like, let's get it written. And I wasn't really sure it would go anywhere because I didn't know anything about the publishing process. I just didn't know anything. I went to Barnes and Noble. I bought all these magazines about publishing, and I went online because I'm a researcher by nature. I'm like, go online. What do you do? That's what you do. And then, I turned around, I switched over, and I just strictly went to Chanel. What do I do next? And I used all her resources.
Wow.
And she and her whole entire team was so supportive and patient, because I felt like I was every day I was asking questions, 5 questions a day. Well, how do I do that? How do I? What do you mean edit? I got to get PDF. Like what is that? What is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was just so supportive that, to be honest, that process, the editing and publishing process, was so simple because I had
Hmm.
that team guiding me through it. And I just think as a first time, writer, you need to have that support. And I believe that in every other thing you do. But, sometimes I think people think, oh, I just write a book and then I'll just start, sending it out to people. But if you don't really know what you're doing,
Right.
you'll spin your wheels and you will become frustrated, which might be why a lot of writers just kind of give up. I suspect there are tons of authors and writers out there that have projects written and sitting to the side, but they don't know what to do next, and they don't have, that support or that guidance. And I think, that part was the most important part. And, I thank, Chanel and her, like I said, and her team so much for that, because without that, I would still just have notebooks. I would just have notebooks.
We appreciate that. Okay, Facebook family, it's almost that time for you to ask all of your questions. Please do not forget to go to StreamYard.com in order for us to see your comments that you're placing on Facebook. You must go to StreamYard.com and allow access so that we can see them on this end. You have so many congratulations and hearts and emojis and things in the
Oh,
chat, Miss Katee. And so we're going to get ready to open the floor to any of the audience members that may want to ask a question about your journey, something maybe that I did not ask that they may want to know. So please place your questions in the comments on Facebook, but please make sure you allow StreamYard access to that so that we can see it and Miss Katee can answer your question.
get out of here. Okay.
Yes, and so we're excited. The title itself is catchy, like out of my system. And when we're really trying to release something or someone, we really be crying out saying, "I just want to get this out of my system. I just need to." And so that um, cliche, if you will, or that phrase we
Mhm.
often use is very intriguing. Like, well, what's she trying to get out of her system? And so when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I have to speak to Miss Katee to find out what this is about. But I'm glad to hear that even in the midst of your journey, you found some way to laugh. And what you wanted to do is make sure that people make that maybe in that same scale or in that same mind frame can learn to laugh through the challenges as well, be it breakup, loss of any type of thing, a person, or anything like that. And so I really, really, really appreciate that. Which 21-day challenge were you a part of? The writing
Her
challenge.
very first one.
Oh, really? With the one in October 2019?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And so I
Okay.
started with that. And then my sister, she died in December. And so I kind of, I had written it, but I didn't do anything with it. And so I kind of, after that, I kind of, I was still a part of the group and I got back on And I just said, you know what? I'm ready to just to do this thing. I did it in the 21 days. I just didn't do anything with it. And it took me a long time with my editing process because I was so picky and I kept going back like, I don't want to say that. I want to say this. And, and I wanted it to feel realistic. So in terms of like locations, I
Okay.
went back and changed locations and cities and restaurants so that anyone who was reading it that was from that area would, they would resonate and they would say, oh yeah, I
Yes.
know that area. And so
Okay.
yes.
That is now, that is smart, because if you're writing, especially if you have a setting that is a certain city, you want to make sure you research that city. So when you're saying that the
Yes.
character, be it yourself or whomever you came up with fictionally, that if you said there, and I'm from Atlanta, so I'm going to use something
Okay.
that's here. If you say Piedmont Park, people are going to know that because that's a very large place, a very place where everybody go congregate during the summer months. And so
Right.
if you say that, you got to make sure you know the streets. You just can't say
Yeah.
certain things. Right? I know your book may be fictional, but some of that need to be the truth.
Right. Right.
and
Right.
and
Because
that
the thing is, you want people to like feel it. Like I
right,
wanted to draw people in as if they were there. So, I mean, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm in Southern California. I was living in Florida for a while. So I wanted to mention certain places that anyone in those areas, you were like, I know where that is. And oh my God, like that's so
right,
true. They do have the best hot wings and just,
right.
like things like that.
Right. And not only that, Miss Katee, I think it draws people closer because you feel like you're a part of the story, especially if you're
Yeah.
speaking of somewhere that's an area that's close to me or that I visited and where I had a wonderful experience. And then you say something about the Philly cheesesteak in Philly, and they're like, yes, I tasted it. And you name a particular restaurant, and people get to thinking, she was there. Oh my goodness. But then what it does, Miss Katee, is causes them to connect to the story, and then
Mhm.
they can see themselves in the story, because I'm a
Right.
visual person. And so sometimes I can hear something and people be telling a story of their own, and I can just literally see it. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, or even if I've never been there, I can just kind of imagine,
Mhm.
imagine my face when I get there, and it's nothing like I envisioned it. And I'm like, oh, because I got this wild imagination, and I get there,
I
I'm like,
know.
that's all. So I get there and be like, that is all. Oh my goodness, I did all this for that.
Right,
And
right,
so
right.
that's the funny part. So when you have this wild imagination, such as myself, you have to rein that thing in, because I be thinking, you gonna get there, and then the highways aren't good. Now I'm mad at Miss Katee. I don't want her
Can't
book
got
to
me
be
over here. They ain't even good.
now I'm mad at Miss Katee. She said the wings was good. What kind of taste? What kind of palate does she have? But when you're writing good and you give those visuals, and people be like, "Well,
Right.
I'm gonna go to Arizona because he said they have the crispest water," and then they get there and it tastes like mud. They're upset. They want to write Miss Katee and say, "Hey, you said this water tastes like fresh from the spring, from the fountain."
I know. Oh my
I didn't
goodness.
mean to make
So
you laugh
true.
like that, Miss Katee.
That
I'm just
was so true though.
yes. Drop them. Oh, okay. Just sent us those people that are watching. If you have some questions, now is the time. Drop them in our comments so that me and Miss Katee can stop laughing and answer your questions. But that just, having a visual, sometimes it can be bad.
Mhm.
You're like, oh man, that just
Right.
really disappointed me when I got there. But yeah, so drop a question in here for Miss Katee. I know that she'd love to give you some answers to your questions. So, Miss Katee, you said that we can find your book on Amazon, Out of My
Mhm.
System, and they can find it there. I think, let me see, let me type it in the comments here where they can go and get it. Amazon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Katee. Thompson. We're waiting on your questions. Go ahead and drop them in the comments. All right, all right. I was able to type that in the comments and make sure that people can go and get your book. I'm asking all of our viewers to please go and support Miss Katee. Go ahead and get you a good laugh. Go ahead and learn some tidbits on how you can get people or places or things out of your system. This book is for everyone. She did mention that her niche was the 40 to 60-year-old group, but she said it resonates with so many others that have come up and complimented the book and complimented the writing, and we want you all to be a part of that. If you are in a place where you feel like, hey, I'm in a breakup, I'm in this place, breakup from persons, places, or things, and I just need to get over the hump. I want to laugh again. I want to feel good again. Then this will be the book for you, Miss Katee Hugh's book, Out of My System. Go ahead, pick up your copy at Amazon.com. You can look it up in the books in the search bar. You can put Out of My System and go ahead and support this indie author, Miss Katee Huyghue, who has written her book, something and accomplished something that she set out to do even as a little kid. She decided at 8 years old that she wanted to be an author. And one thing I will really commend is that although she said it at 8 and it didn't come to fruition at 8, she remembered something that she said as a little kid and she went for it. And it was during the most difficult time. So you can write a book, you can tell your story even in challenging moments, and find laughter too, even in challenging moments. Go ahead and get your copy. Jacinta has dropped the link inside of our chat. So go ahead and click the link and purchase Miss Katee's book. Miss Katee, if you do not mind, will you hold that book up for us to see? So when they go on Amazon, they know exactly what they are looking for. Look at that. Look at that cover. There you go, right there. Now that skyline, is that Cali?
Yes. Well, it was a combination of California and New York because I wanted her to be like in a big city.
Worldwide. She needed to be worldwide. Okay, she international. But you know what, Miss Katee? What I believe is there's a person in New York, a person in Cali, here in Atlanta, everywhere that needs to get something or someone out of their system. So it's worldwide. They over there in Ghana, they in over there across the waters. They're in Europe and everywhere. They need to get people out of their system. And so
it's worldwide
for everybody. It is worldwide. And so we're just claiming that, you know, the sales will be plenty. People will be writing you, telling you how it made them laugh, gave them another perspective. And we just celebrate you as a Beyond the Book Media author and publisher. And we really, really, truly appreciate it. One thing most people ask that we found during these interviews is, what did you do in specific when times were hard? I know you say you just wrote, I cannot write today, I don't have anything to say. But was there anything else you did? Did you listen to music? Did you go by the ocean? What did you do in those moments? Even during the 21-day boot camp or challenge, when it became difficult on the writing parties, what was your go-to thing that got you back on track and it reminded you of your why? What is that?
You know, one thing that I did first thing in the morning is I read a little bit of the word for encouragement. You know, a little bit of the word will always remind you that, you know, if you do your part, he will do his part. Right. And so that was always the first thing I did. Another thing that you'll notice, I think a lot of people catch up on, is as you read through the book, you will read lots of music and song references. And
Okay.
so I listen to a lot of music. And, and some other, like um, gospel music, jazz music, hip hop, pop, but you will see, references from different artists. Jasmine Sullivan was one of my favorites.
All right. Come on, Jasmine Sullivan, and purchase this book. You in here.
That's in there.
With tagging Jasmine Sullivan. You are in this book. You need to purchase it.
You need to purchase a book. But that always, because I am a music lover, and no one genre, like in all genres. I won't say I like every song in every genre, but I like words. I like lyrics. And
Me too.
sometimes, artists put words together and it may not even be what they mean, but it says something else to me. And
Right.
so, listening to music, and like I said, first thing in the morning is, reading the word, just one page. And that always keep me on the right track. And then, before I go to bed, again, same thing, the word. And, I always, before I go to bed, I always go to bed, with nothing heavy on my mind. I don't watch the news. I will either put on, episode of Golden Girls or Seinfeld, just something again to just lift the spirit, lift the
Yes.
mood a little,
You look
because
at
that's
Miss
how I was going
Sophia.
to
Miss
sleep.
Sophia. Mm-mm.
It's Sophia, right?
Her and that Ruth, I can't deal with them. Can't deal with neither one of them. You hear? Miss
So
Sophia
yeah,
dry humor was the best.
I know, I know.
Ah, but
So that,
those are
to
nights.
me, that work, the music,
Yes.
and just, staying, just knowing that if I just, keep doing what I'm supposed to do, the rest is going
Mhm.
to happen.
The
It
rest
can
is
happen
going
if
to
I
happen.
do my part. I strongly believe that, faith without works, it's just not going to happen. Got to do the work.
Right. Faith, for those that are looking on and viewing this who do not know, and I may need to put this in the comments so the people in the back can see and hear. Faith and works are married. They are in union. They are a
They
union.
are. They
You
are.
can't have one without the other
Nope.
in order
Nope.
for anything to come to fruition in life, for anything to
Yeah.
really come to pass. You have to have both of them. They have to be married. They can't be going
Right.
together. They can't be shacking up or any of that. They have to
Nope.
be married.
Have to be married. Definitely.
They can't, one can't live over here, visit every once in a while. They have to be
Right.
together. That's a nugget, and you can thank me later. But
Right.
I wanted to make sure that people understand that they, like fasting and prayer, they're married. Faith and works,
Absolutely.
they're married. So that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, again, audience, we thank you for your viewership. We thank you for coming on to enjoy Miss Katee. If you have any questions, we have about 10 minutes left before we wrap up. If you have some questions, please, by all means, drop them in the comments. But you must first go to StreamYard.com and allow them access to your Facebook comments so that we can see them on this side. Do we have any questions or comments at all from Miss Renee, Jasmine, Jacinta, anybody that's been rocking with us the entire night? Do you have a comment or a question, something that I did not think to ask that is just waiting on your spirit? It's just weighing in saying, ask this question of Miss Katee. Go ahead and drop them in the comments. We do have about maybe a little under 10 minutes left, and we want to make sure that we get your questions answered. But most importantly, we want you to go to Amazon.com and support this indie author. Support the fact that she had a dream as early as 8 years old. She had even some challenges when she made a commitment and a decision to write her book, but she let nothing stop her from getting out of her system what she needed to get out of her system. And she did it with laughter. And in this world that we're in right now, laughter is what we all need. So please
Mhm.
support Miss Katee Huyghue in her book, Out of My System, that I know would be a blessing. If you know somebody going through a challenge and you know that a little bit of laughter will really, really shift their paradigm or change their perspective, get the book for them. This is a wonderful time. We have September here. the month of birthing out, and we just want to make sure that people really activate and get in touch with who they are and what they are here for. And Miss Katee book can help, possibly help that. So we want to truly support Miss Katee as a new author. We celebrate you as a new author. We thank you for taking the time to write and share in laughter, something we all need. So if you have a question before we wrap it up, go ahead and drop your comment for Miss Katee so she can answer your question. And then we'll let Miss Katee have the remainder of her evening. It's 3 hours different here, so it's going on 10 here, just going on 7 up there in Cali. So we just want to make sure. Okay, Jasmine, and say, what other book genres would you like to try to write in? Are there any other genres of book that you would like to try to write? And you did you did the fiction, so she was like, is there anything else?
Yeah, before I decided to move forward with this one, I actually was working on like a thriller.
Okay.
And like I have it from beginning to end in my head. And I wasn't sure if that was what I wanted to write, but it's like to write that kind of book, I had to be in a certain mindset. And because I was already grieving about my sister, I felt like I need to lift myself a little bit.
Okay.
And and then, then I thought, well, I wanted to write something related to how I grieved after my sister passed away, because like I said before, I felt like my sister died from cancer, and I'm a cancer survivor almost 16 years, and my sister passed away within months of finding out she had cancer. So I
Wow.
had what I call, survivor's remorse. And so I wanted to write something, about, feeling that way and how to move forward. But again, that's kind of heavy. And so with that going on, and with COVID going on, I just couldn't that was going to be too heavy for me. So I do have, I definitely have to write a sequel to Out of My System, because I've had a lot of people, message me. We need to know what happens next.
Okay, now.
So I have to do that. So I've started on that. But I do have other genres. I mean, in terms of what I read, man, I'm a big, Stephen King fan and a big
Oh,
James
wow.
Patterson fan. I mean, I've read everything those two, John Grisham. I've read everything they've written. So, I don't have a favorite genre.
Wow.
I would
Okay.
say what I don't really enjoy is too much of, romance. And I don't know. I said maybe it's because I'm single, and I'm like, yeah, that's not real. So I don't know though, but that's just me.
Well, hey, we appreciate your honesty, and it's not for everybody. It's okay. You write you something with some gore and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, that's what happened, and they did this for it's okay. It's not for
Maybe
everybody.
when I fall in love, I'll write that.
And then you get you a Fabio on your cover. That's okay. It's all right, Miss Katee. It's been done. Don't worry. Just move right on along. That
But
was
yeah,
a very good question, Miss Jasmine. That was a very good question.
yeah,
That's good. And so sci-fi and all of those things there.
yeah. No, I'm not like I like to watch that kind of stuff on
Do
TV.
you?
But oh yeah, but I don't. My mind doesn't quite work that way. So I like to enjoy it, but my mind just doesn't work that way. But like I like the kind of things where it starts out one way and then all of a sudden something entirely different happened at the end. I like
Right.
those kind of books. So yeah, so I do have, I have something in mind that I want to write. And a lot of times it's about a female, because you write what you know.
Right.
And so yeah, you write what you
And
know,
that's
and
what
I think you're
resonates
best
with
at
people.
writing what you know.
Right,
So
right. And that's the
yeah,
part that is that resonates and connects what you when
right.
you write something from a place of confidence. And I know this
Mhm,
character because I've been
mhm.
her. I know somebody that's her. My
Right.
girlfriend is her. Instead of trying to write from somebody else's perspective that don't know anything about, it kind of you lose people in the mist sometimes. So I
Yes.
really
Yes.
appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Jasmine, for offering up a question. And Miss Katee, I'm not gonna hold you because we don't have any more questions. But what I want to do is take the time to say thank you to our
Yeah. Thank you.
viewers for staying on with us. I know, as I stated earlier, many of them went over to Clubhouse, and so they stayed up a little later to come over here to see if we can get a few more extra nuggets. and I'm sure you gave them some gems. And I want you all to support this beautiful gem who is Miss Katee Huyghue. And I want you to go and purchase her book on Amazon.com. It is called Out of My System. Again, if it is not for you, oh, Renee said purchasing my book. Yes, thank you, Renee. If you don't, if the book is not for you, always think the way I think, and you don't have to think like me, but this is my thought. When you know that somebody else can benefit from something and you have the ability to help them through a place, and when you do that, the Lord blesses all of us. He blesses the receiver and the giver, is what I've learned in life. And so thank you, Miss Renee, for going out to purchase the book. Make sure you share this live and invite your friends to purchase the book after you've read it. I know Miss Katee would love some reviews and some feedback from it. Go on Amazon and give your feedback, give your perspective. As she's continuing to write, and there is a sequel, so we want to make sure that every character that you just fell in love with or whatever place, make sure you let Miss Katee know so that she can try to add some of that flavor to the sequel, because it's gonna be good. And once he's out of your system, she's gonna tell you what to do next in the sequel.
And I have 3 new characters, and I already told them they in it.
Oh wow! See, and I'm an avid reader. I love to read books too. Been like that, be under the covers trying to read books back in my heyday. I used to be like, let me find out what's going next.
Right.
I used to love like Eileen Harris and Terry Morrison.
Oh, yes, I have all them too on the bookshelf.
Right, honey, because that Yancey character was something else. What is her name? I see her right now. The author of that book. I actually follow her. Man, what is her name? If I wasn't trying to think of it, I would know who she is. But yeah, whoever wrote that book and had those characters, I used to be like, oh my goodness. But you couldn't put it down. You wanted to know what was going next. You purchased the next book because you wanted to know what was going on next. And the Invisible Life just gave me a whole different perspective on life altogether. Yes, I had to be about 19 or 20 when I read that, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" But it was truly his story, and like Out of My System is your journey through laughter, through whatever. And so people resonated with it, and you just don't forget certain things. And I just cannot tell you why I cannot remember that author. And she's very popular too. She's been writing for years and years and years. But I really enjoy her writings, and she's really a truth teller. And she said a lot of it is fiction, but you can find yourself within the pages of the book. And so don't forget to go purchase Miss Katee's book off of Amazon.com. Again, it is called Out of My System. We appreciate your time and staying up with us in the late hours for those of us down here in the South. And those of you on the East Coast, we celebrate you. We say thank you. And Miss Katee from the Beyond the Book Media family, Chanel, Jacinta, and the entire team, I say thank you for journeying 21 days with us and writing your book, and then publishing through Beyond the Book Media, and then coming here to share your story and shine light on what your process was. So we really appreciate you, and I hope that you have a wonderful night. Have a good evening, everyone, and bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, my East Coast and my Southern friends. I know it's late there. I just appreciate you jumping on so late at night. Thank you so much. Thank you, Renee. And Crystal, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You guys too. Bye.